Hey everyone, welcome. This is Faisal. In this video, I'll show you how to convert multiple Illustrator files to PDF all in one simple step without opening them one by one or wasting time. Let's take a look. I've got a folder here on my desktop with about 20 files. And this method works even if you've got 100 or 200 Illustrator files to convert, no problem. Yep, just one quick step. No need to open each file manually or export them one by one. So with this method, we'll see together how these 20 files, or 50, or even 100, will be converted to PDF in just one single step. Alright, let's go to Illustrator and see the method together. Of course, this method works for any version of Illustrator, whether it's old or new, or even for any future versions that might come out. Alright, let's see together what I do here. First, I go to Window and select Actions. Of course, people who work with Photoshop will know what I mean. But in Illustrator, it's pretty much the same thing, just with a few differences. Let's see together how it works. Okay, I want to convert a whole folder, not just a single file or files that I select manually. I want to specify a folder and tell it, convert this entire folder, convert everything inside this folder to PDF files. Convert the Illustrator files to PDF files. Alright, let's take a look together. First, I go here to Create New Set, or the one that appears here as a folder icon. Okay, let's see what it looks like. Okay, I click and create a folder for this action, and let me name it. You can name it Export Faisal, or you can name it whatever suits you, depending on how you organize your files. Let's check it out together. I tell him okay. Alright, now after we've opened the folder, this folder will contain the exports or the specific export that I want. Since we're working on exporting PDFs, I want to create something and name it Export PDF. So what do? I go here to Create New Action, and let's name it PDF. PDF export. Now, for those who like to set up shortcuts, you can also assign a shortcut to the action. So you could, for example, set it up on your keyboard too. On F5 or F4, or whatever shortcut you want. You can set it here with Shift, with Command, or with Control on Windows devices. But in this lesson, the shortcut on the keyboard is not as important as me. What really matters to me is showing you how we can take the entire folder and convert all the Illustrator files inside it to PDF in one step. Alright, now here I can choose a color if I want to distinguish each action separately. But as we said, this isn't really that important. So let's just do it now and click Record, meaning start recording the action or start recording the steps. Okay, now it started recording the steps that I'm going to do. Alright, I have a regular page open here. All I need to do is convert this page to a PDF. So basically, I want to save the steps. I want to record here in the action the steps I'm going to do, which is exporting to PDF, so I can apply it to the rest of the folders or Illustrator files. Alright, I go to File and select Save, and here it's important to create a folder, because the folder you create will be where the final PDF files are saved. So I select New Folder, and I name it PDF. This will be where my exported files go. And I click Create, that's it. After I click Create, I choose the format here, the one we're explaining right now, the one we want to convert to, which is PDF. Alright, then I click Save, and here I select the quality I want for the PDF. So if you want your files to be converted in high resolution or for printing purposes, you select high quality print, and if you want it just for the web or you want the file size to be really small, then choose this option. So you pick whatever you need, or you can just leave it on the Illustrator default if that's what you want. Let's choose together here. I have high quality print. Okay, now after I did that, I click Save. Save as PDF. Now it's saved it on the desktop in the PDF folder that we specified. Alright, Now notice that the action is still running. That means it's saving the steps I'm doing or the actions I'm taking. Now I click close, and it will also save the step after I click close. Alright, you see, it closed for me, or the file closed by itself. When it closes, I go to Window. Alright, then I go to Actions and click Stop. Stop playing. That means it's done. Now we're done with the recording part. That's finished. Stop. Alright, now I go back and open a regular page in Illustrator, just so the program shows up for us again. And what do you do if the Actions panel isn't showing? You go to Actions. Alright, and you click here, just like we see. These 4 little lines, or the 4 dashes, or the 4 lines here, or maybe 3. Sorry, I click on them, alright, and then I go down here to something called Batch, just like we see. Alright, now this is where the work happens. Here's the thing, I want to go to the folder that we opened. Or what we saw at the beginning of the explanation. The one that has several Illustrator files inside, or several Illustrator documents. And I want them to become, or be converted to, PDF. Alright, so what do I select now? Now here, Set, which is the folder we created for the action. At the beginning, we said that this is Faisal. Faisal is inside, or within a folder. Faisal, we have different types of export, so I tell it. Faisal, the one we had selected, then the action inside it. Faisal might have, things we've named. For example, PDF export, JPG export, PNG export, the one we explained in the lesson, or the one. Or the steps we did, we named them, which I have here. PDF export. Alright, so here, what I have is the source, which is the folder. I need to go to the folder and select the files that I want to convert to PDF. So I tell it choose, alright, and I go to the desktop or wherever you have your files saved, and I tell it to select it. Alright, now here, just leave these options as they are. We don't need to change anything. Now here, you might have a question, so to tell it that the files you selected, or the files we just took from the Files folder, should be moved to the folder I created for PDFs, or the one we created on. Sorry, on the desktop, and we named it PDF. I want these Illustrator files to be inside it, so I click on it. And I choose the folder option. Alright, and I tell it again, choose, and I confirm that it's on my desktop, and as we said, it's called PDF. Alright, I tell it choose. Okay, now these are just the settings. What do? I tell it here, I say, okay, convert. Now, as we can see, the method is really amazing. It's like you're telling the computer to work for you. By the way, our video has reached 10 minutes. But that's because I was explaining, The method is about how you create an action. So now, once you create an action, you have it ready to use. So yeah, the whole thing about saving PDFs takes just a second or a minute, depending on your computer's speed, of course. You could have 20, 50, or even 100 Illustrator files saved, depending on how many you have. Alright, now it's exporting or converting those 20 files. I think it's done. It really is done. Now, if I go to the desktop, I'll find them in the folder we created or talked about. First, I had the original source. Here it is. Inside it were 20 Illustrator files, and it converted them to PDFs on the desktop inside the PDF folder, just as we can see. In addition, it also kept copies of the Illustrator files for me, meaning it made copies of them on the desktop, just for safekeeping or to keep them as a backup. Here on my map book, this is just the way they're arranged if you use list view. These won't really matter to me, since I already have the original source files. For the Illustrator files, I want to tell it to delete them. As you can see, it transferred all of them and I named them Make for Test. 1, 2, 3, 4. it transferred all the Illustrator files that were inside the Files folder here, just as we can see together. And this was the first save that we used for testing or ran the action save on. It's something I don't need either. So this is a really great method, and I hope everyone understood it. If anyone has any questions, please ask me on Instagram or in the YouTube comments. Thank you for watching.